and welcome to another edition of News 6. I'm Danielle Logston. Today's show is represented by Mrs. Judy Watson, 6th grade class from Republic Elementary in Republic, Ohio. Today's program will show our community special establishments and the people who run them. Our first story is about a sugar camp. Lisa has the story.
The steam rises slowly from a busy building tucked in the woods, and the closer you get, the better it smells. The Snavely family has their maple sugar camp bustling with activity these days. Denise Trimble interviewed Mr. Paul Snavely about his camp.
Besides the maple syrup, what goes into making syrup?
Well, the sap that comes out of the tree is the only ingredient that actually goes into it. The rest of it's just a boiling process to get the water content out.
How many tapping pails of sap does it take to make 5 gallons of syrup?
For each gallon of finished syrup, it takes right between 40 to 50 gallons. This year we're running about 48 gallons to 1 gallon of syrup.
About how long does it take to collect a pail of sap?
Well, to collect a pail of sap, you go to each one of these trees that I'm standing by, and this one's got 2 buckets on it, and that will fill a 5-gallon bucket, which takes just a matter of a couple of seconds to collect those to take to the gathering tank.
What type of conditions make for a good or bad sap flow?
Okay, the sap flows to the top of the trees during warm days, and then we need nights when it freezes down 20 to 25 degrees to make that sap go back up the following day again. So we need a freeze right now to make the sap start in again.
How and when did your family first start making maple syrup?
It's been over 100 years that this camp has been in operation, and my children are the 6th generation to be back here working.
How big is the demand for homemade maple syrup in this area?
The demand here in our area is real good. We can produce what the market demands in this area. It's all sold with very little carryover.
March is the maple syrup season, and the Snavely family works hard, and so does another family in our area. Ed has a story.
A 2-story log cabin sits north of Republic on State Route 18 and is owned by Mr. and Mrs. Herbert Damschroeder. It took 2 log cabins to reconstruct the present one, which sits in their backyard. The Damschroeders began the project in 1975 and finished in 1976. They built their log cabin because they had too many antiques. The log cabin has no electricity and no heat. It is lit by candles and heated by a fireplace. Mr. and Mrs. Damschroeder collected most of their antiques from auction sales and shops. There is a massive amount of antiques. The Damschroeders accept visitors throughout the year. Just as the Damschroeders collect antiques, another area women collect shoes. Dave will tell us about it.
Look out, Stamps. Here comes miniature shoes. Miss Mildred Baker of Republic, Ohio has a large collection of shoes. Tracy Kisebirth interviewed her.
When did you begin collecting?
Well, it was about 40 years ago, and I was on a trip. I guess it was about the first trip that I had ever taken, and it was in the east at Atlanta City. And I bought my first pair of shoes at a little souvenir stand on the boardwalk. They were just a small pair of high-heeled, gold-colored shoes. I guess I didn't have very much money at that time, so that's probably the reason I bought a very small pair.
How many shoes do you have?
I have at least 800.
Why did you start collecting?
Well, I would say when I was a little girl, I always liked pretty shoes. And when I'd get a new pair of shoes, I was very happy. And I guess that's about the main reason that I started collecting shoes.
Where did you get your last shoe?
When did I get my last shoe? Well, I got my last shoe just a couple months ago. It was given to me by Ruth Bulldozer. And it's a very old shoe. It's glass and green, a beautiful shade of green, and it was in her family for many, many years.
What styles of shoes do you have?
Oh, I would say I have just about anything that they could make a shoe out of.
Miss Baker has a passion for her hobby, and so do two enterprising businesswomen. Janine will give us the story.
Watch out, Cabbage Patch. Here comes Precious Pumpkin. Martha King and Cheryl Ledick of Attica, Ohio are beginning their own business with dolls called Precious Pumpkins. Talks to Mrs. King about the business adventure.